everyone, let's continue with our topic semantics. In my previous video, I discussed about the similarities of sense relations. Now, we will discuss about the sense relations. Sense relations that work on the dissimilarity of senses. Okay, so discuss about sense relations that work on the dissimilarity of senses. In this, the first is the binary antonym. Binary antonyms are predicates which come in pairs between them exhaust all relevant possibilities. Once again I am repeating, binary antonyms are predicates which come in pairs, between them exhaust all relevant possibilities. For example, true, false, dead, alive. Okay, the next one is converse antonyms, which means if a predicate describes the relationship the relationship between two things and some other predicates describes the same relationship when the things are mentioned in the opposite order. then the two predicates are converse of each other. So again I am repeating. If a predicate describes the relationship between two things. Okay, if a predicate describes the relationship, okay, describes the relationship between two things, okay, between two things and some other predicate, okay, some other predicate describes the same relationship. Okay, once again, if a predicate describes the relationship between two things, okay, if specifying about the relationship between two things, okay, if a predicate describes the relationships, okay, which describes about the relationships, what it was, how it was, okay, describes the relationship between two things, and, okay, first you keep this aside and then and some other, okay, some other, which is not this, some other predicates describes the same relationship. Some other describes the same relationship. Same relationship means which describes the relationship, the same relationship which was here. Okay, some other predicates describes the same relationship. What relationship was mentioned here, it will also mention the same relationship here. When the things are mentioned in the opposite order, then the two predicates, which two predicates? This predicate and the other predicate. Okay, so once again, some other predicates describes the same relationship. Okay, describes the same relationship when the things are mentioned in the opposite order, then the two predicates are converse to each other. Okay, converse of each other. For example, let's look into an example so that you can be clear. Parent, child. Okay, here parent and child, the same relationship. Parent, child. Here X is the parent of Y. X is the parent of Y equal to, okay, this is one predicate. X is the parent of Y equals to Y is the child of X. Y is the child of X. Here you can see here it gives the same meaning. X is the parent of Y is equals to Y is the child of X. So here this is one predicate and this is one predicate. Here which gives the in both predicates give the same relationship. The two predicates mention the same relationship. Parent here X is the parent of Y equals to Y is the child of X. Then, okay, when the things are mentioned in the opposite order, which means here the meaning was same, but we are giving it in an opposite order. X is the parent of Y, Y is the child of X. Here the relation was same between these two, but here we are mentioning the parent, here we are mentioning the child. Okay, so when it gives the same relationship, when the things are mentioned in the opposite order, child, parent, child. Okay, so then the two predicates are converse to each other. Okay, next. Gradable or polar antonyms. Gradable or polar antonyms. Here, two predicates are gradable. Two predicates are gradable antonyms if they are at the opposite ends of a continuous scale of values. Okay, two predicates are gradable. When they are gradable, if two predicates are gradable antonyms. Okay, when they are gradable antonyms, if they are at the opposite ends of a continuous scale of values. Okay, example: hot, cold; tall, short. Okay. Here, these hot and cold are at opposite ends of a continuous scale of values. Okay. Next is overlapping antonyms. Overlapping antonyms. Overlapping antonyms are evaluative. Example: good, bad, polite, rude. Okay, so these are overlapping antonyms are evaluative. Okay, which we can evaluate, which we can give the difference. Okay, next is contradictoriness. Contradictoriness. What is contradictoriness? Contradictoriness is a relation Contradictoriness is a relationship between propositions a proposition. I already mentioned about proposition in the previous video. Please go through it. A proposition is contradictory. Proposition is contradictory of another proposition if it is impossible, only when it is impossible, it is impossible for them both to be true at the same time. Okay, don't confuse. Here contradiction is different from contradictoriness. Okay, here contradictoriness is a relationship between propositions. A proposition is contradictory of another proposition. Okay, a proposition is contradictory of another proposition in not in all the cases, only when, okay, if it is impossible, only when it is impossible for them both to be true at the same time, then only we can say that contradictoriness is applicable here. For example, I am alive is contradictory I am alive is contradictory to I am dead. I discussed about contradiction in my previous video. Please go through it for better clarification. Otherwise, you may confuse between this contradictoriness in antonyms and the contradiction which I have specified in my previous video. Okay, I hope you are clear with this. Thank you. Bye bye.